What's going on? I hope you're happy, healthy, doing the things you love doing with those that you love doing them with. I'm now about to give you a reading. Before I even start, I need to like, comment, share, subscribe, press the notification bell. And if you're into getting paid services such as readings, rituals, or any of those other services, I have that on my website. All you got to do is click the link in my description. Alternatively, you can DM me on my Instagram or on TikTok to Sorcerer X. Same handle, the same handle, as the YouTube handle. Alternatively, you can email me, and that's in the description as well. Let's get into your reading. Let's see what Spirit has to say about your journey. And your journey is all about changes and balance and new purposes coming through. I feel like there is a lot of energies of conquering. I also see a big change is happening, and it's all about your choices. And the choices that you make shouldn't ever be a situation where you feel shamed to. I think it's important for you to be your most authentic self, and then when you get to it. So there is a deep rush from a big rush of change from a masculine to feminine energy, non-gender specific, all right? We're talking about the growth from yourself. We're talking about the divine feminine energy, which is about self-nurturing, self-love, self-care. We're seeing the energy from a masculine, which is your divine purpose. It's also understanding that your decisions going forwards ultimately going to align towards a better version of yourself, which is about self-healing and self-love. I feel very much aligned that in your energy, it is so important for you right now to really talk about self, the action of self, your connection with the universe, your connection with who you are is the foundations towards a new identity, a new frequency, a new love for oneself. I feel like I'm speaking to your inner self. You may not project this out to the world, and you don't want to, and that's okay. But there's a part of you that doesn't like who you are, and this is all down to having to internalize these thoughts. Sometimes you may go through a period of conflict, and this is dating back to scenarios such as pain in relation towards previous relationships and family. We've got friends, we've got exes, all of these things. You need to find a way, and I would heavily advise you to start going into yourself, isolation mode, really reflect. And if you, while you're in isolation and you could feel like you could talk to someone, that's great. I think it's about stillness, the energy of stillness, because this is about your spiritual grounding. It's also about your cleansing of one's old energy. I highly recommend as well from a spiritual point of view if you can fast. So if you're fasting, that's great. You don't have to necessarily fast for the whole day, but this is about setting an intention to just clear your mind of thoughts of anything that's sort of like releasing any type of tension in your life right now, okay? But this is all to do with bringing a new sense of freedom in your life. This is something that I feel like, especially with the Five of Swords, you want the changes, but there's certain things that need to happen before you even think about the changes. And these changes, as it is often needing for you to realize that doesn't matter if it may come across as uneasy, that's just a process for your growth, as well as knowing that if you're in the mantra or that everything is for your highest good, then therefore this is part of the process. Again, King and Queen of Energy, I feel very much like this part of your soul purpose in your life is to rediscover who you are. If you, doesn't matter, non-gender specific and non-age specific as well, because you can be very mature within your age and still find yourself, and that itself is a great moment to sort of still be in a essence of finding your identity. You're never too old. You're never too old. And I like this because it's giving you an impetus for you to sort of focus on what you feel is truly important for yourself. Embrace the changes. Embrace the changes. Embrace what's new. Embrace that you are having to trust, even though when you're not know, even though when you're not knowing of things and that might frustrate you, you may go through a period of uncharted territories. Embrace it. Embrace the unknown. Embrace the fact that you don't know. But by living and being still, you're getting to know more who you are. I got the Justice card. And the Justice card itself is also to do with balance. During reflection, it's so important for you to focus on what you feel is truly important for yourself in terms of priorities, in terms of what's something that you want to instill in your life and what's something that you don't want to have any part of. I'm not saying you can have friendships, but I'm going to go deeper, talking about habits. We're talking about things that hold you down, voids. We're talking about things that you need to release. Are there things that in your mental psyche that maybe you've realized that taking your time is also something that gives you a different perspective how you see life? This is very important because the common goal is we often live a life of wanting things to happen now, rapid, right? But if it's not done in a way that really if it's not done in a way that's in your benefit, and if the environment isn't right for you, then all you're learning is speed and not actually processing things. To the point where my guides are saying right now that you're only learning how to be avoidant rather than going through life and having to go through lessons and having to trust that things are actually needing to be, there's a reason why that things need to slow down a little so that you get to see a different perspective. What becomes of this? Big messages, changes, shifts, conquering the situation, self-mastery. This is about you bringing yourself up to the boil, releasing what needs to be released. I feel like there's a reintroduction of who you are. There's a born again factor, nothing religious, but there's a rebirth factor about you. And there's this energy of being happy and being free. And I feel like we often think about investment in terms of money investing in ourselves, but I think it's important for us to invest in our time. Without the time of that nature, we won't essentially ever evolve, because we won't. I think it's important for us to understand that we need to stop thinking about speed. It will come in a way that will amplify you for the right reasons. Yes, if you want things to happen quicker in respective towards a manifestation, you can make the process quicker. But that's as long as you understand there's layers towards this. And if you understand there's layers towards this, yeah, the speed will come because you've already cleared a path for you. Whereas if your path isn't clear in terms of your mindset, your goals, your thoughts, and you're trying to enter a path that's full of like obstacles, you're going to crash. You want to see speed, you focus on self and the rest will follow. That's the big change. I see that there's going to be a return to self, return to life, return to self-love. This lovingness about yourself is much needed. I feel like you've neglected a part of yourself that needs to be seen, needs to be heard. Not by other people, by yourself. That's the start of self-love. All right. That was your reading. If you're interested in getting a paid services, such as readings or rituals, for guidance, for any type of roadmap ahead, or you may be going through a series that you are going through stagnancy, drop me a DM on my Instagram or on TikTok, Sorcerer X, and then let me know your situation. Alternatively, you can click the link down below that will take you to my website, and I also have my email, and that's in my description as well. But yes, I enjoyed your reading. I feel like you yourself are going through a series of owning the fact that you want to change, well, guess what? It starts with loving you. That's the biggest change. That's the domino effect. That was your reading, Sorcerer.